Radio Memphis.
And we're back, yes. Such as it is. Here, congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs winning the Super Bowl 31-20.
Yeah.
She just woohooed. She got all excited.
Like I didn't even know her hair. But whatever.
She just got thrilled. They were favored. Would you say, Jonathan, by one?
Yeah, I heard it was by one. Yeah, so.
I think they covered the spread on that. I think they got to there.
I believe they did.
Jonathan Ellison is here in the studio. Jonathan, I've got to tell you, I'm a huge fan of your work.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I was at your Road to the IBC performance a couple of years back, I think it was.
Yeah.
To get into the IBC for the local thing, and I was absolutely blown away by your performance.
Oh my God, yes. As was everybody in the joint. I mean, what a show.
You and your band don't screw around. That's a show.
Hey man, that's what we try to do. At the end of the day, it's important. When you get the opportunity to do what you love to do, to try to give it all out to the audience, man, and to see it received back. It's great.
Well, I know you have a standing gig on Sundays, which is we got lucky to have, thanks to the Super Bowl, we got to have you here tonight.
Yeah.
But I know you have a gig down at B.B. King's.
Yeah, B.B. King's Blues Club, man.
Second at Beale, right there.
Right there, man.
The crossroads of America, really.
Yeah, man. We're there on Sundays and Wednesdays, so it's good to have that residency, and Memphis has been good to me, been good to my guys, and so
good.
We're going to continue grinding, and keeping things alive,
That's what Beale Street is. It's about the grind.
Oh yeah, man. I was just talking to the guys earlier. I've been down on Beale Street playing off and on since 2001.
Really?
Yeah.
19 years you've been down there.
Yeah, man. I started out just doing substitution work for the guitarists.
Did you start when you were 12?
Oh man, how old was I? 23, I think. Yeah, 23.
Yeah, 23.
Yeah. So now I'm just now just turning 43. So it's been a plum pleasing pleasure. We had some bumps and bruises, but the thing about Beale Street, you got to go through the grind,
Oh, absolutely.
and pay your dues, So I'm
definitely paid your dues, and
I still got more to do.
So to get to get recognized last year as you did had to be somewhat rewarding for you. As I know, I was happy to see that you got that title, right?
Yeah.
King of Beale Street.
King of Beale Street. Yeah.
I mean, how many people can say that?
That's a huge honor and some really big shoes, man. When I think of the late great Preston Shannon, who I consider one of my greatest friends, biggest mentor for music.
Because Preston had that gig before you, is that right?
Yeah. Preston had that gig, but also Preston is the one that really took me under his wing and showed me how to be a better showman. How to handle a band. We were talking about it earlier. Preston, there's not a person that I've ran into that knew Preston Shannon or a musician that could say one thing bad about Preston.
Oh, he was a sweetheart.
Yeah, man. And he brought it every night.
It was business. He knew the business to show business.
Exactly.
And he taught a lot of young guys how to do it.
Yeah, me included.
Yeah.
And one of the things he told when I first did my album here, Guitar Cry for Me, when it first came out, as soon as I got my copies pressed, I gave Preston one. And I saw Preston a few days later, and he said, "Hey, Cat, listen to your record. Sounds good. Sounds great. Don't mean a damn thing if you don't get it heard. All right. So you need to get out there and make it possible." So
once you come out of the studio and you get that disc, that's a great moment,
right?
But at the same time, that's when the work starts.
Exactly.
You think it's work getting into the studio and making a record, but when that comes out, it's like, oh shit,
right.
Here we go.
I'm telling you, being an independent artist, man, you really know that sweat equity is so important, man. It really is.
Well, we've been playing your stuff around here and some cuts off of that stuff, and I can't not be more proud of the fact that you're a true Memphis musician and worthy of Radio Memphis as well. Guys like Vince Johnson, he's one of these guys that'll sit there and go, "Man, I seen him coming, I seen him go." He's been done it for like 40, 50 years, He goes, and he'll go, Yeah, that guy right there, he's the real deal right there. And that's, man, when you get that cred.
Yeah, oh man.
Because Beale Street has its ups and downs. I
Yeah.
get that. And it can be tough to play down there. Memphis is a tough town. You know, Beale Street, and there's some clubs that have the whole 10% of the bar plus
Right.
tips, and then you might get lucky and get a deal, you know.
Right.
And then there's other times it's just name only, you know. And there's a lot of that's out there, but you found a way to really make that work for you.
Well, you know, playing on Beale Street, one of the things that we learned, my band included, is that you got to be versatile and be able to play different styles and genres of music. Obviously, my heart has always been rooted in blues and gospel. Started out my family, the Ellison family, my mom and dad had a gospel group, and my brothers, all of us, we sang and performed with them, you know, and so
it comes naturally for you.
Yeah. I mean,
your family's in it, you know.
Yeah, man. My father and my mother, man, they were two of the greatest parents I think any kid could have, because they made us believe that we can do anything we put our minds to. If you put in the work, that's the important thing.
You got to work. You got to work your ass off.
You know, and so that within itself, and then when you're down on Beale Street, you need to be well versed in different genres of music. We were talking about earlier. You know, you'll be on stage and you'll play a certain song, and you realize, you look out at the crowd, man, in the middle of the first verse, you're like, they're not getting with this. So I got to figure this crowd out. And so some nights it's heavily driven in blues. Some nights it's heavily driven in Memphis soul. Some nights they just want to party, you know. And so what we try to do is we try to give them, be able to with a broad brush cover all of those areas, you know. So, but also we keep straight to the foundation of blues. We never leave that. So throughout the course of the night and each set, we're going to hit you with some good blues. And we're going to pull you in to you know,
and then
to
we're
our
going to
word.
preach to you.
Exactly.
That's how that works.
That's how
Lightning
it
Malcolm
works.
has kind of the same vibe about that. He goes, dude, you go play those juke joints down on the Chitlin circuit. He says, man, they tell you if you don't get those asses moving within like 3 songs, get the F off that stage.
Exactly.
You're wasting everybody's time. And you got to be quick, and you got to be charismatic. You got to be a showman.
Yeah.
And you are, my friend.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I've seen your show. You are a showman.
Thank you, man.
That's
Thank
why we're
you.
thrilled to have you here. I wish we had the band with you as well, but yeah, well, I'm thrilled to have you just here on.
Well, y'all getting a treat because you know this.
You don't play solo, do you?
No, I don't, man. I don't. This is the first time that I'm actually here by myself. So this is somewhat a daunting task for me. But hey, I'm just so grateful to have the opportunity to be here, man. I really am. I love Mark to death, man.
Everybody loves Mark. Everybody.
Well, there's probably
He's
a few
gone.
out there that.
Oh.
I'm being
No.
silly.
No.
No, I mean,
He's right.
we've wanted to have you down here for a long time, and it was just a matter of scheduling to make it work, and we're thankful that has happened. So there's no pressure. Everybody here wants you to do well, and you will do well.
I appreciate that, man. I received that in the name of Jesus, man. I really do, man.
You know, there's times as a comic, you know, it's easy for a comic to walk into a comedy club because they're already there to laugh.
Yeah.
They're already there to have fun. So it's really hard to bomb.
right.
And you're not going to bomb here. I know that. I'm not worried about that. Because we're going to play some cuts off of the record as well. I want to hear you play. In fact, I'm ready to hear you play now. You got this gorgeous guitar here in your lap. What are you playing? What is this thing? What is this?
It's just an Alvarez acoustic electric, man. You know, and I'm not a real big acoustic player, because when I think of acoustic players, you know, I think of people like James Taylor and Kev Moe and those cats, man. You know, they're just at a whole nother level of just getting the voicing out of it. You know, I'm your, you know, run of the mill, just, you know, journeyman acoustic player. I'm more of an electric guy.
What's your nightly? What do you strap around your neck on a nightly basis?
Man,
is it a Strat? Are you playing a Gibson? Or what do you got?
It depends on the mood, but recently, right before Christmas.
Oh, here we go.
Right,
There's Stephen giggled over there. He's like, "Yeah, buddy."
Can't wait for that guitar talk.
there's a good guy, man, out of California. His name is Lynn Wood.
Mm-hmm.
He made quite a few guitars for the late great Wawa Watson.
Yes.
And he was a fan of Preston. He came a couple of years ago when Preston was still here.
Yes.
And it was a night that he had actually called me to sit in for him. And so he saw me, and he was, like, man, you're good. And we just talked. I didn't know who he was. He just, he asked me questions about what I liked and stuff. About a year later, he came back. By this time, Preston had already called me and asked me to take over the band for a little while until he got better. And he sees me.
That's
again.
a hell of a thing.
Yeah.
I need you to front my band while I'm out. It's not like letting the dog out of your neighbor's house. I mean, that's a thing.
Man, let me tell you something. That right there for Preston Shannon, to call me and personally.
That's temporarily taking over the Johnny Carson show.
Yeah,
when you get called to sit in,
you get called
for that. I mean, that's
to work that crowd. That means they had a lot of faith in you.
Yeah, man. And I'm
without words, man. When you go up there.
Yeah. But Preston raised me well. I'll say that. All over the years, he knew that I could do it, and I appreciate him. And that's not me sounding cocky, man. It's just I've worked hard to get where I am.
No, there's no cockiness to that. That's just it.
And he just really he saw it in me, and I look at it like I guess God was saying, okay, I know what's getting ready to happen. And I want
not your time,
right? I want Preston to help you get into that into that next phase. So back to Lynn.
I mean, looking back on it now,
oh man,
it's so easy to see how all that happened.
It's wild because when Preston came to me and asked me, we as the band when I got there, we were all sure that he'll be back in March. He's just taking a break because. The weather's getting cold and he's just not feeling good, but the Preston we know, he'll be back. We did not realize
he was a workhorse. I mean,
there were times when I saw him play when it was obvious he really wasn't up to it.
Yeah. I remember the last night he played. The last night he played, he actually came down with his brother Claude and they went upstairs to Itabena to have dinner with Tommy Peters, and they told us that Preston was going to be there. So we set up an amp and everything, make sure if you want to come down and play. And he came down, got on stage, and he was frail, and he didn't bring his guitar, so I gave him mine, and he sat down and started playing. He played "Bend Down Harder." How blue can you get?
Yes.
And as they were playing and I was standing to the side, he started to let the audience know how much he appreciated all of these guys who were on stage, and he spoke about everybody individually, man. It was a teary moment because really that's when it really set in that he may not be coming back, because it was like he wanted to pay his dues and respect, give flowers to the guys that work with him. And the one funny thing, he's my cousin. He was playing organ at the time, Keelan Ellis. He looked at Keelan and he said, "When I get well, I'm gonna kick your ass." Excuse my language.
No, you can say whatever the hell you want, man. That's when I get well, I'm gonna kick your ass. And coming from a guy like Preston, he was a kind of a big dude. I mean, he was
at one time, yeah.
I mean, he was a man of stature.
Yeah, man.
And when he said something, he fucking meant it.
Yes, sir.
Pardon my language, but that's the way it was. And I'd met him several times, and we were unfortunate never to have him down here. But it was just the way it was with him. There was a lot of respect, and B.B. King's is notorious for that.
Yeah.
It's bringing respect to the artist.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm so thankful that you're there.
Man, I appreciate it. And I'm grateful to Nelson McNeil, Marquise Tank Hodges, who's the regional musical director there, and also my drummer. He was a drummer for Preston all those years, as well as Tommy Peters, who
is he the only one from Preston's band that's working with you now?
No, actually, man, we kept everybody together.
Really?
Yeah. And
you came in with a band, basically.
Right.
Stepped right in there.
I have a couple of people that I play with regularly. One in particular is a good friend and another mentor. Has been like a brother to me, and actually inspired me to continue to play professionally. And that's John Williams. And of the A440.
We know about
Yes,
John.
yes,
Oh
yes.
yes, absolutely.
And so John has been a huge inspiration, and always been there for me. And I still call myself a member of A440. So whenever he needs somebody, he'll call me, and he calls me John Boy.
Of course.
I'm
Never
there
turned down a gig, right?
No, you don't do that. You don't do that.
Yeah, no.
And so I was actually working with another band. We had our own band called the Blues Players Club. Now let me show you how much respect Preston garnered in the city.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm playing with Rod Bland, the son of the great Bobby Blue Bland.
Yes.
Excellent
Wow.
drummer, excellent friend, and Kelly McDonald,
Oh,
great
Oh,
bass
yeah,
guitarist.
yeah,
Y'all know Kelly.
yes.
Oh, Kelly's awesome.
So we had a 3-piece called the Blues Players Club, and we had a residency when 152 was open. We were over there, and we were actually competing on the same nights that Preston was playing at BB's.
Wow.
And so when Preston called me and asked me if I would front his band, I called Rod and Kelly, and I said, "Hey, Preston wants me to front the band, his band, man, until he gets better." Both guys said, "We hate for you to leave, but go do that, man, because
Yeah.
You've got to do it.
Yeah.
because
You've got to do
that,
it.
Yeah,
mean-
but
that's
those
how
are
much
great guys. They had, I can see
Really?
that.
that's how
Yeah.
much respect that they have
Yeah.
for Preston. So I mean, go do that.
And you
know,
too. And you too. And if it had been you with one of them,
Right.
you would have done the same
Exactly,
thing.
exactly.
That's the way it was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So to have, I just hope that when my time is done, when God has decided to take me on to the next realm, that I can garner some of the same respect and love and admiration that Preston had, because he truly was, man, a guy that kept musicians working. He appreciated what we did. He got in your behind when you were wrong or when you were messing up, but he was always there with his hand in your back saying, "You can do it. You can do it. I got you."
Before we hear a tune, are you doing that now? You got any young guys behind you that are working with you a little bit, and you kind of get in their ass a little bit? And
What?
say,
Yeah.
Get your shit together, man.
What?
Because this is important. I'll say it like that because that's what it is.
No.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do that with those young
There's
guys.
the business,
Seriously.
Yes.
show business.
Yes. I got some fellas, that I'm always trying to share some advice and some wisdom to guys like my nephew, I call him, Mr. Courtney Little, an amazing singer, amazing musician, man, that's out here getting things done. Eric Mackey, who is has been out on the road with so many artists now, man. That started out his first time playing on Beale Street was coming in and sitting in with me because he worked out at the time. I was working for an airline here in Memphis as a safety process and compliance manager, and he happened to be one of the ground agents. And I'm riding on the ramp, and I get out and he said, "Hey, you play on Beale Street, don't you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." And he was like, "Man, what
are you doing here?"
Yeah, can I come and sit in one day?" I said, "Man, yeah, bring your axe." And so he came one day, and I let him sit in. He did, if I'm not mistaken, he did All Along the Watchtower, the Jimi Hendrix tune.
That's ballsy.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. I was
That's
like,
a lot of
wow.
balls to pull that tune off.
But he could really play, man. And make a long story short, now I'm looking at him and he's out here playing for so many different artists and stuff. And we sit and talk all the time, about this business and about, and especially how proud I am of him. But
That's so great.
but one of the things that I'm learning about this generation is they're not as I hate to say it, the skin is not as thick as ours.
Nope, they aren't.
And we live in a world now of like the highlight reel. When you look at the basketball players, they can't shoot a free throw, but they can shoot a 3-pointer and they can dunk, from any different angle. The fundamental pieces, it seems like we're losing, and we're just all
Small
about
ball.
Right.
Small ball. They
Right.
lost small ball.
They lost it, man. They lost it.
Baseball, basketball, same thing.
Everything, man, and it's going with music as well. We got a lot of guys that can really play. They got so much talent, but
But if they can't work that 12-bar blues
right, man,
or that 8-bar blues,
right, or just learn a song,
get your ass off the stage, because we ain't got time for that.
And when when I approached them, I'm an old school guy, maybe young, but I was brought up. My father, and it's funny for people to believe this. My father, I'm the son of a sharecropper. Okay, my parents were sharecroppers. My daddy will be 78 this year.
My grandparents were, yeah.
There you go. My mother would have been 81. So when I come from that old school kind of way where you get in a person's face, you let them know when they're not doing correctly, and you're able to also accept that type of criticism as well.
Sure.
And a lot of these musicians out here right now, man, they
can't take it.
Yeah, they can't take it. So I have to pull back a little bit.
No, don't pull back. Kick him in the ass. Keep him going because, look, let's be honest, Preston would have done the same with you.
Oh, he did. He did.
He probably put his foot in your ass a few times.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah.
I'm just supposing here, but that's probably what had happened.
Yeah,
if he's going to make you a musician and make you a showman, by God, you're going to go up there and do it.
I can hear him right now.
I know Rufus would have.
Oh, I heard
Ask
stories about
Willie.
Rufus.
Get Willie in here and ask Willie.
Rufus would have kicked your ass.
Isaac Hayes would have and did.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
All right, before this break, let's get into a tune.
Oh, man.
Let's hear something here.
All right, see what I can do.
Lord, here we go.
Oh, babe, ain't no place I'd rather be. Oh, baby, ain't no place I'd rather be than to be on Beale Street in Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
There it is.
Oh, honey, come and go with me. Oh, honey, come and go with me to that good old place, y'all, Memphis, Tennessee. They got catfish and chicken, whiskey, beer, and wine. Come on, pretty girl, let's have a real good time, babe. Baby, come and go with me to that good old place, y'all, Memphis, Tennessee. Oh, honey, come and go with me. Oh, honey, come and go with me to that good old place, y'all, Memphis, Tennessee.
Yes, sir. Jonathan Ellison here in the studio, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Blues and Blues. We're going to take a break.
All right.
I got a couple of tunes that are queued up.